morning. We have Miss Carolyn Wallace with us this morning to tell her story about the cancer. Are you now in remission?
I am.
And how long have you been in remission?
Be 5 years in July.
5 years in July. Tell us about your experience with cancer.
Well, I never had any experience in the family of anybody having cancer. Of course, I always had a mammogram each year, and I had always come out fine. And in August of 2005, I had a mammogram, and everything was fine. Then in December, I turned 65. And when I turned 65, I went downhill all the way. So they wanted me to have a full physical after I turned 65. So in January, I went to Dr. James, had a full physical. He said he would have a mammogram again, and I told him I had a mammogram in August, but he wanted me to have another one. So I did. And whenever I had the mammogram, it showed something there at that time in the right breast. So they did biopsies and everything, and I went for a stereotastic biopsy. After that, I had one biopsy, and then it was determined that I did have the cancer. So they sent me to a surgeon, and I went to Dr. Gallopon. He told me at the beginning, before he did anything, he wanted me to go to and see Dr. Patel, which was an oncologist, and so he wanted me to have a consultation with him, and also go for a consultation with radiation, for me to know what could happen if I needed to have did have the surgery. So then after, when he did the surgery, it was under the right breast, under the arm, mostly is where it was at. He gave me the options of what to do, what was my options. So I opted to just go and have a mastectomy and have the breast removed, which I did. And they took 11 lymph nodes, and nothing was in the 11 lymph nodes. They removed all of that area, and I didn't have to have radiation or chemo, neither one. So I was just a lucky one that they found it early enough. So I was thankful that I went on and had the second mammogram, even though it hadn't even been a year. So that's how quick things can show up from in just a few months. So I was thrilled that's the way it worked out.
How has your experience with cancer affected your family?
Well, of course, it did affect them because it was just terrifying for them to think that, that I had it. But Doug was able at the time to take care of me, and he did. I had great care and got along fine. Everything healed fine. And in 3 months and 5 days, I had a total hysterectomy. So I guess everything, and that had showed up something for me with the hysterectomy on my bone scan, whenever I had the bone scan in January. So, like I say, when I hit 65, everything just went down.
How important has your faith been to you during the journey with cancer?
Oh, it was very important because I had the support of the church and family and friends that just, they called and, sent food and just kept up with me and see that I was doing all right.
And what has happened to you through the rough times during cancer treatment? What has helped you through the rough times?
My faith, faith in God that I was going to be all right.
Were you able to use any of the American Cancer Society service while in treatment? And I believe you said you did not have to take treatments.
No, I didn't take any of the treatments. I didn't have to. I go back every 6 months to see Dr. Patel. He runs all the blood tests. I have a mammogram once a year still. And I've been on a medication for anti-estrogen since I've had the surgery, which I can come off of it in July if everything is all right then. I can come off of it. I see him again next Tuesday, so he does blood work every 6 months to check on it.
Is there anything you would like to say that might give encouragement to others with cancer now?
Just be sure and go to the doctor and have a mammogram at least once a year. Because if I'd have waited until July, August, like I had waited, like it'd been a year in August, then I would have probably been further along. So that was important to have a mammogram.
And if you'd have waited, you probably would have had to went through treatments.
Through treatments probably, because it would have, if it appeared from August to July, they found it in January, so from August to January, but it was July before I had the surgery. Because time I made all my appointments to go to the oncologist and the radiologist and all that, it took time to get back all the tests for him to do the surgery. And he was very supportive, the doctor was. I really liked him.
Is there anything else you would like to add?
No, just be aware that it can strike anybody at any time. That's all I know.
Well, you did well, Carolyn. We appreciate you coming in.